This is maybe the dumbest video I've ever made. Today's 2:45 of my Polaroid 365 project. There's no importance to that other than the other day I had to drive to this town about an hour away from me called Walhalla, South Carolina. I drove past this building that I thought was really cool. And by really cool, I mean dumb and kind of funny, like what it said on the building. And so it's Labor Day weekend, you know, I got nothing better going on today or tomorrow. So I was like, you know, let me go drive an hour back to that town to go shoot a Polaroid of this thing. And this video is going to be very anticlimactic. This video is going to be like, wait, he drove an hour to shoot that? I promise you, you're going to feel that way. So, yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm going to drive an hour to shoot something kind of dumb. But, you know, I've got a full tank of gas. I got time on my hands. I got a Polaroid I need to shoot today. So, like, why not? So during my time doing the small town photo project, I drove to like a lot of these kinds of towns that were just like, the downtown is just like one strip, and they at least had something interesting about them. Walhalla, South Carolina is a town that I never really visited. I've driven through it, but I don't think I've ever like gotten out of my car. And it's one of those towns that has that. But that didn't fulfill the criteria of the small town photo project at the time, because small town photo project, I was going to places that still had like a viable scene of some kind, because the goal was to provide print products of a place and provide a service of creating images that this town would want, right? So that was my business during COVID. Largely was I was taking photos of growing small towns that had a lot of people moving there or whatever, and I was shooting images. I mean, for lack of a better thing to say, I kind of don't like saying this, but like stock photography of that place that could be used in merch I made or prints or whatever. And it was an interesting project. I learned a lot about myself during that project. Number one, I learned that I think a lot of people had the expectation that I would be capturing parts of history, and that's just not the kind of photographer I am. I like to take a place and make it not really look like that place in the way I shoot it. Like, I'm always trying to like change it in some way, even when I claim to be making like stock photography of a place. Like I can't even just take what's there and just let it be. I have to like make it look more idyllic in some way, and that's just naturally just my bend to photography. I'm not a very good documentarian of photography, and I think a lot of people misunderstood my goal as being documentarian when really it was like, you know, looking back, it was definitely more of a commercial endeavor of like, I was basically being like photographing for like the tourism board, except the tourism board was me, and the way I funded it was by like selling prints to like office spaces and stuff, which I think does have artistic merit in some way. Like, I don't think it was like a total, like, you know, I don't think I'm like a total, just all I think about is like money or commercial. In fact, I think about money probably not enough, quite honestly, because I'm doing this right now. But, and some of the photos I really like, and I think ultimately it was an interesting project. But that's a long way of saying that that project gave me a familiarity of the Southeast and like different places in the Southeast that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Because, you know, during COVID, it was just like, I was just in this truck driving, I mean, as far as Texas, but just driving all over the place, checking out these different small places. And now I have this like encyclopedia in my mind of like interesting places around here. The fact is that the goal of my art, the goal of my photography, largely is to get me in a truck driving around and get me out of my normal spot. I'm not that great at capturing home. I like road tripping. You know, if you're a photographer, there's probably a zone that you use photography to like get you to that place. In some people, it's just they're comfortable creating series and creating images around the place that they are in, the place they live. Me, however, if I were to get really down to where I like to take photos, it tends to be while I'm on the move. A lot of my Polaroid 365 project has been at home. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone in capturing more of my surroundings that I always live in. But I think for me, it's like when I'm truly in my photography element, it's when I'm in my truck going to a place. I don't even like flying places anymore. Like flying to New York or Los Angeles or wherever else, like sucks some of the magic out of photography for me. Like my happy place in photography is when I can drive there and capture things along the way. That's my thing in photography. That's where I like to be. And where does that come from? I think it comes from the fact that I grew up on Oahu. I grew up in Hawaii on an island. The farthest you could drive is like 15 minutes away, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You could take a day and go around the island, but like you were limited on places you could go. Now it was very beautiful. It was paradise, of course. Like, I'm not going to undersell that. I got into photography because I lived in Hawaii, so that makes sense. I think when I got to college, when I went to college in Tennessee, I realized like, oh, I could drive my car to California if I wanted. And that was just something very cool to me, and something that I've only continually, like, more and more gotten more excited about and into, to the point where, like, I resent when I have to go on an airplane now. I resent when I have to, like, sit in an airport gate, because really all I want to do is get in my car or my truck, drive somewhere, and kind of feel a little bit of pain along the way. Like a really good road trip, a road trip that I think is the most satisfying to me is one that's like a little hard, one that like is a little miserable because the reward is so immense, if that makes sense. What stinks about the YouTube thing is that I feel like the YouTube videos where I'm traveling tend to be my least watched, which is a bummer to me because that's like what I want to do the most. So I'm trying to figure out a way to like change that. Like, how do I shoot these videos in a way that, people actually watch them, and thus I can, continue to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know. Kind of been a rough weekend. I bought this coffee. It was on sale the other day at the grocery store, and it's like a light roast, one of those light fruity roast acidic things. I used to be a fan of like light roast coffee that's like you can taste the the vegetables, the soil touched, and like the hands of the farmer or whatever. Like the citrusy blonde light roast stuff. I used to like that. And I've learned this week when I got this coffee that was on sale, I bought 2 pounds of it because it was like buy one, get one. It made me realize that I think I've grown out of that. I don't like light roast coffee anymore. It's like all week I was struggling with this like acid tummy. Like I just didn't feel good all week. And the way I drink coffee is I drink a cup in the morning, then I go to the gym or wherever, go about my day, and then around lunch I have a second cup of coffee. And just every morning this week I just like felt terrible. And I was like, what is going on? Like I don't eat unhealthy. Like I eat pretty healthy. Like I eat like eggs and Greek yogurt and like almonds and crap. And so like I was like eating stuff that's like not inflammatory. And then I'd feel better by lunch, and then I eat lunch, and then I'd start feeling bad again. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized, oh, it's this blonde roast, like acid coffee. It just like was like ruining my week. And it was like 3 or 4 days of this before I realized like what it was that was causing it. And so it just like kind of ruined my week a little bit. I mentioned a couple videos ago that I bought a second Polaroid i2, and I was going to keep it in the box, and then a commenter reminded me that I probably should cycle the battery out. Like, don't lithium ion batteries. Like, I just don't want to let it just die in the box. I pull it out of the box a year from now and it just doesn't work. So I pulled it out of the box and I realized, oh, well, actually this is really handy, because what I can do is have a Polaroid i2 with black and white film in it, one with color film in it. So now it's actually like really awesome, because yesterday, my photo of the day, I wanted to shoot in black and white, and so I had black and white loaded up in one camera. And then today I'm shooting in color, so I have color loaded up in a camera. But it was always annoying, because when I was relying on one Polaroid camera, I kind of had to just deal with whatever was in it. And I think that kind of subconsciously led me to like waste shots a lot. I was like wanted to get to a different type of film. So the other day I went on a hike to shoot a segment for a video that I've got coming up soon. And on the way back, for some reason, I just let my GoPro record the whole thing. And I thought, certainly this is a niche by now, but where people like first person let you watch an entire hike in a place, that's a free idea. I don't hike regularly, so like, I'm not gonna be the guy that does this, but you know, like, what if somebody went to all these different like national parks or like Hawaii or different hiking spots that are like somewhat popular and put like, you know, hiking in, you know, Mauna Kea, easy, you know, or like they talk about level of difficulty, but it's like 4 hours long and they just literally have a GoPro running the whole time. And so you could virtually like go on a hike. I think that's a really genius idea, and I feel like definitely that has to exist. I'm definitely not the guy to do it, definitely. But maybe I'm the guy that just records an almost entire drive to a really anticlimactic photo that everyone's going to be depressed about when they see it at the end. Maybe that's my niche. Maybe that's what I should go for. Niche? Do we know how we pronounce that yet? It's like GIF or GIF? It's like niche? I don't know. I don't think we know that. I think it's one of the mysteries of our time. The guy was looking at me in my fuzzy hat mic. He's jealous. He wishes he had a fuzzy hat mic. You know, I titled this video that this is like my dumbest video yet, because the photo I am aiming to take is dumb. And I think the fact that I've decided to now record the entire drive means that my title is in fact accurate. This is the dumbest entire video I've ever made. It's gotta be. And I've made some pretty dumb videos. Definitely. But the photo is gonna be dumb. Just remember to just shut this off now. If you don't, I mean, really, it's gonna be dumb. Okay, so don't get excited. Don't be like, oh, Will, you're just joking. It's not going to be that dumb. You're just trying to tease us to get audience retention or whatever. I 100% believe me. It's like, it's funny to me, this photo. But I told my wife and she's like, yeah, I've been there. Like, she's been to this place I'm going to go photograph. She's like, it's not that funny. I think it's funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. Okay, I turn in 3 miles. All right, I need a thumbnail. I'm just gonna do one real quick. There we go. That's my thumbnail. That's gonna be my thumbnail. That's my thumbnail for this video. Weird face plus camera. That's my thumbnail formula if you haven't figured it out. Weird face plus camera. That's it. That's how I come up with thumbnails. That's what I do. And every once in a while, I use just a photo I took. If it works for kind of what I'm going for in the video. But a lot of times when I put my photos as the thumbnail, they bomb entirely. The videos just bomb because I guess people don't like my photos, which, you know, isn't a surprise. I've been doing this forever and posting stuff online forever. And I think since 2015, I've just now broken 3,000 followers on Instagram and like 2,000 subscribers almost on YouTube. So it's like not that surprising if no one likes my photos. Or maybe they just now are starting to get good. I don't know. Social media, algorithm, I try to like see if there's something I can do to like use the algorithm a little bit. But at the end of the day, like I just don't think I fit the algorithmic mode. I watch all these reels and I hate them. Like I watch all these reels, like I scroll on my feed. It's taken a while to get tuned. Like a lot of my videos right now that pop up are just guys like jamming out to like synthesizer music. Like they're just playing their synthesizers and like smoking, which is a success. I think that I managed to get my algorithm to be that instead of the like trendy, like dumb reels that everyone watches that are like either trying to sell you something or they're like, I don't know, just it's all sucks. It's like all these reels. Short form video is terrible. I just want to say like short form video, I don't keep wanting to have I don't want to have a beef with like a medium because that sounds ridiculous because obviously not all short form videos are terrible. But the ones that get like promoted and propagated in most people's feeds are like the worst trash I've ever seen. And I always like hate myself after I like get caught in a loop of watching them. When I watch YouTube, because it's all longer form and it's stuff that's like really specific and whatever, like I feel like I probably learned something, I got something out of it. Like I feel like often I'm consuming something that's like a few steps up from dumb, at least most of the time, or educational even, or something interesting. But like short form video, like it's like this distilling down. Like I feel like I'm Dax Shepard in Idiocracy when he's like watching all the screens of like people getting hit in the balls over and over, and he's like wearing orange Crocs and like laughing like a goober. Like that's what I feel like short form video is for culture. Is like it's like we are Idiocracy because there's like nothing useful. There's a few good recipes and stuff, but like I don't know. It's just like it's all terrible, and I hate it. And the only reason I would care to like get my stuff seen in short form video, which I don't really post very often. I'm clearly not that invested in. The only reason I would care is because like so many people watch these dumb videos that I'm like, man, could I get a piece of that? Could I get a piece of like con these drooling masses to look at my photos? And the drooling masses don't care about my photos. And it's not even because my photos are like elevated. I think it's just because my photos are like only fun to me. I think that's where I've learned I'm at. 7.2 miles. Okay, we're 8 miles away. Holy crap, we're 10 minutes away. Just burn an hour talking to a camera. What kind of personality disorder is that? What's wrong with me that I was able to do that so easily? That's crazy. This drive has felt like it's been 5 minutes. I think my goal with this video is to see how many subscribers I could lose. I think that's where I'm at now. So I got to a point where I felt like when I was watching a lot of like photographers on YouTube, especially like film photography kind of stuff, which I tend to probably fit more in that lane because like digital photography videos tend to be like really boring and just gear related. But like film photography tends to do more road trips and like more fun things with like images and stuff. Is it getting stale? Because I feel like I got to a point where I felt like all the videos were the same over and over across the different influencers. And so I actually did a thing where I changed my algorithm entirely, where I unsubscribed from like pretty much every photography YouTube channel except for like one or two. And now like my YouTube experience is like feels much more fresh than it did. And as a result, I'm consuming things that are like much more fresh. I've been like really big into music lately. I've been just like digging into like music criticism and like making music and like all this stuff. So that's been really fun and really changed a lot of how I think creatively. But I just feel like photography YouTube feels like it kind of like just dipped hard. It's just not, it's like the same things over and over. And maybe people like that. I don't know. I don't. I'm too all over the place. I have too many microplastics in my brain. I have to like be all over the place trying different things, which is why you probably feel whiplash video to video because you're like, none of his videos are the same. I'm trying to have like the a semblance of like a format. But it's hard for me because I'm interested in different things and ways and experimenting and just like I like trying things, you know. But I just felt like I was getting very bored of photography YouTube, and it was starting to be that thing that like all photography is, which is just like supported by the corporate powers that be. Is like every video that comes out is influenced by whether a new camera's come out or like whether a new film stock has come out. Like that's what it felt like it became, when originally it was like, oh, check out this old Russian lens that I found and see what it does. Like that's cool. But now it's like, oh, you know, Harman just came out with a terrible red film stock and we got to do a road trip to test it out. And it was just like influenced by that, which I get it. You're making money. It's like SEO. I understand. I've done some of that as well. But it's like those are my videos that I like care about the least, and the ones that I have the most fun with are ones where I went out and tried something image-based, where I did it, the image or the idea drove me to do a video rather than like the object that I'm capturing things with. But again, I mean, I'm just as big of a sellout as anybody, I guess, because, you know, I like to make money from what I do, you know, ain't nothing wrong with that. It just is what it is. All right, Walhalla. No texting while driving, citywide, big sign. Well, technically I'm not texting, so they can get over it. Small town cops are the worst. They really come after you. I once got a ticket in a place that wasn't even a town. It was called a village. I forget what the town was, but it was like the village of whatever. It was like in Louisiana. It wasn't even a full town. And I got pulled over and got a ticket. And it was like a $350 ticket. It was crazy. I was going like 10 miles over. Okay, okay. All right, we're here. I see the building I want to take a photo of. Now to just park at this auto park. Oh. Now to just park at this auto parts store that's right across the street without breaking my cameras. Okay, all right. Wow, what is that place? That looks cool. Okay. Small towns are cool. I don't care what anybody says. They're still cool to me. I'm not as into the like growing small towns as much anymore. I'm kind of more into the like dying ones. Now, okay. Here we go. Here we go. We're here. Me walking around with a hat mic, a Polaroid camera, and a point and shoot camera on a Gorilla Pod. Promise you no one in this town has seen this. All right, here we go. Stupid. This is so stupid. All right, let's jaywalk here. Got this fire hydrant here. Great. It's a great tripod. Let's see what I got. We're gonna shoot manual? Yeah, let's shoot manual. I don't know if my mic reaches this far. Okay, I want that angle. Okay, I found a better angle that I will shoot this with. I drove all the way here for that, and I don't know if it's good at all. I feel like I should hang out and make sure that like the photo turned out well, because that would stink because I drove an hour. That said, I really gotta pee. I'm nervous this shot's gonna be too bright, in which case this video is gonna suck way more than it would otherwise. All right, well, that's the photo. I don't know, I just thought it was so funny. A restaurant that like has its name in quotes, like it's a steakhouse. It's so dumb. Anyways, I thought it was funny. So, thanks for watching. Bye.